All right, final leg. We are back here to talk about some of the best action that we saw on the track and in the field this past weekend. We saw the NCAA athletes back on the track. They were competing at the West Regionals down in Sacramento, California. Then we saw the East Regionals go down in Jacksonville, Florida. But not only NCAA athletes, we saw some great performances from some of the pros as well. So let's jump right into it. We saw Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. She was down in Kingston, Jamaica. We know Shelly-Ann, one of the most dominant and one of the greatest sprinters ever in the sport of track and field. Running the 100 meters, she managed to run 10.97 seconds in that 100 meters. That's not only a season's best, that's #2 in the world this year, and that's also the best time that she's ever run since 2016 when she got her medal at the Rio Olympic Games. So this is a really, really big performance. It shows that she's progressing. Last year, she managed to run 10.98. This is just a little tick faster, but she's already on her way to progressing towards potentially getting a medal and standing on that podium in Doha. Of course, we know she's going to have a lot of competition. There's a lot of competition in the sprints, in the 100 meters and in the 200 meters. But if this is an indicator of what she's going to be able to do throughout the season and she's able to keep herself together and keep progressing, then we're going to see her really contend for one of the medals, potentially even gold, if she can really hold things together in Doha later this year. Now, let's move down to the regional meets where we had the NCAA athletes going for a spot at the NCAA championships coming up in about 2 weeks. First, at the East Regionals, which went down in Jacksonville, Florida, we saw Sha'Carri Richardson competing for LSU. In that 100 meters, she managed to run 10.99 seconds. Personal best for her. That's actually the #3 time this year in the world, only behind a couple ladies. This is also the fastest time that a freshman in the NCAA has ever run. She actually tied that time, 10.99 seconds. So really, really strong performance from her. That's #2 in the NCAA this year. We're going to see a lot more from her. There's a lot of competition from other ladies, but this is showing that Richardson is going to be a strong contender for that NCAA championship. Now, moving over to South Carolina, we had Quincy Hall at the East Regionals. He managed to run 48.54 seconds in that 400 meter hurdles. We know him. He's been very strong at 400 meters. He also has some really good credentials at 400 meter hurdles back in junior college. This was really a breakout for him. That 48.54 puts him very close to the top 10 all time in the NCAA. Really, really strong performance, really, really strong personal best, and shows that he's going to be the top contender going into those national championships in just 2 weeks' time. Now, keeping it in the hurdles, but dropping it down to the 110 hurdles on the men's side, we saw Grant Holloway facing Daniel Roberts in those 110 hurdles. They didn't get to match up in the same heat for their prelims and their quarterfinals, but we saw Grant Holloway run a strong 13.10 seconds in those 110 hurdles. Then Roberts followed back with a 13.13 seconds. So that shows that they are really consistent. Both of them at their SEC championships managed to run 13.07 seconds, making them both #2 all time in the NCAA. This shows that they're really going to be heating up and getting ready for a very competitive matchup when it comes to those NCAA championships. So look out for maybe the top contended event at the NCAAs, the 110 hurdles on the men's side. Now, moving over to the flat 400 meters, we have Trevor Stewart of North Carolina A&T. He's been really, really consistent at the 400 meters this season. We saw him drop a 44.55 second prelim in those 400 meters. Then he came back for the quarterfinals, ran 44.77. This is showing that he's able to drop those 44-second 400 meter runs at command at this point. Really, really consistent, and showing that he's going to be the top contender going into those NCAA championships in just 2 weeks' time. So keep a lookout for Stewart, not only at NCAAs, but then probably a month later when we're going into national championships, potentially making a team going to Doha this year. Now, let's finish things off at the East Regionals with Jaron Flurnoy in the flat 200 meters. He ran a very strong 20.09 seconds to win the East Regional quarterfinal. He's going to be going into the NCAAs as a top contender coming out of the East Regionals. Very strong performance. We saw him at that anchor leg at Texas Relays when he managed to outrun the Houston 4x1. Jaron Flurnoy is definitely going to be one to look out for when it comes to that 200 meters. So keep a lookout for him in just 2 weeks' time. Now, let's move it over to the West Regionals, but keep it in that flat 200 meters. We had Andrew Hudson and Divine Oduduru, both of Texas Tech, running in that flat 200. Andrew Hudson, he got the best of them in the quarterfinals. He managed to win in 20.04 seconds, while Oduduru ran 20.08 seconds. So really strong performances from both of them. We know Oduduru already ran that world-leading time of 19.7 earlier in the season. Of course, Hudson got the best of him here, but this is just the quarterfinals. When they get to that NCAA championships, Oduduru is very, very likely going to be the top competitor in that 200 meters. So keep a lookout for both these guys in that flat 200. Now, moving up to 400 meters, we have Kahmari Montgomery from Houston. He was the second placer at the indoor NCAA championships. He managed to run 44.78. Very, very strong performance from him. This is his second fastest time that he's ever actually run. He won the USA championships outdoors last year, running a really strong time there. But Montgomery's going to have a lot of competition in that flat 400. We're going to see if he's going to be able to keep his spot as one of those top guys when he gets to NCAA championships and potentially even go for that NCAA title. So look out for Montgomery. Now, on the women's side in the flat 100 meters, we had Teahna Daniels, really, really strong performance where she ran 10.99 seconds. Number 2 in the NCAA this year. She is definitely going to be one of the top competitors when it comes to that 100 meters at the NCAA championships. Now, let's finish things off with the women's 200 meters at the West Regionals. We saw 3 ladies drop amazing performances, all under the NCAA lead of 22.52 seconds. First, we had Anglerne Annelus from USC. She dropped a massive 22.36 seconds. Took a huge chunk off that previous NCAA lead, so look out for her as we go into the NCAA championships. Right behind her, though, we had a strong performance from Janeek from Arkansas. She managed to run 22.47 seconds. Great performance there. Then she was followed by Teahna Daniels from Texas. She also ran 22.51 seconds. So all 3 of these ladies under the previous NCAA lead. Let's look out for them as we get to those NCAA championships in just 2 weeks' time. Alright, so those are just some of the top performances we had from some athletes, mostly in the NCAA as they were at their regionals. In just 2 weeks' time, we're going to have those NCAA championships going down in Austin, Texas. Also, keep a lookout for the pros who are going to be rolling through the Diamond League meets as well as some other professional meets across the world, alright? So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, make sure you guys like the video, make sure you guys leave a comment below on your favorite performance from this past weekend, and we'll be back again with another video very soon. Thanks.